Mischance vento my state by Suffolk's means, and therefore by his majesty I swear, whose farvian worthy deputy I am. He shall not breathe infection in this air, but 3 days longer, on the pain of death. O Henry, let me plead for gentle Suffolk. King, and gentle queen, to call him gentle Suffolk. No more I say, if thou dost plead for him. Thou wilt but add increase vento my wrath. Had I but said, I would ha kept my word. But when I swear, it is irrevocable. If after 3 days' space thou here beest found, on any ground that I am ruler of, the world shall not be ransom for thy life. Come Warwick, come good Warwick, go with me. I ha great matters to impart to thee. Enter. Mischance and sorrow go along with you. Heart's discontent, and sore affliction. Be playfellows to keep you company. There's 2 of you, the duel make a third. And threefold vengeance, tend upon your steps. Suff cease, gentle queen, these execrations. And let thy Suffolk take his hoey low. Queen, fie coward woman, and soft-hearted wretch. Hast thou not spirit to curse thine enemy? Suff a plague upon them, wherefore should I curse them? Would curses kill, as doth the mandrake's groan? I would innuent as bitter searching terms. As cursed, as harsh and horrible to hear. Delivered strongly through my fixed teeth. With full as many signs of deadly hate. As lean fact deny in her loathsome caw. My tongue should stumble in mine earnest words. Mine eyes should sparkle like the beaten flint. Mine hair be fixed an end, as one distract. I Uri eint should seem to curse and ban. And e'en now my burthened heart would break. Should I not curse them, poison be their drink. Gall worse than gall, the daintiest that they taste. Their sweetest shade, a grow of cypress trees. Their chiefest prospect, murdering basilisks. Their softest touch, as smart as lizard stings. Their music, frightful as the serpent's hiss. And boding screech owls, make the consort full. All the foul terrors in dark seated. Cue enough, sweet Suffolk, thou torment'st thyself. And these dread curses like the sun, gainst glass. Or like an hour-charged gun, recoil. And turns the force of them, upon thyself. Suff, you bade me ban, and will you bid me low? Now by the ground that I am banished from. Well could I curse away a winter's night. Though standing naked, on a mountain top. Where biting cold would newer let grass grow. And think it but a minute spent in sport. Oh, let me entreat thee cease, give me thy hand. That I may do it with my mournful tears. Nor let the rain of Hoenn wet this place. To wash away my waffle monuments. Oh, could this kiss be printed in thy hand. That thou mightst think upon these by the seal. Through whom 1,000 sighs are breathed for thee. So get thee gone, that I may know my grief. 'Tis but surmised, whiles thou art standing by. As one that surfeits, thinking on a want. I will repeal thee, or be well assured. Adunture to be banished myself. And banished I am, if but from thee. Go speak not to me, Ewan now be gone. Oh, go not yet, Ewan thus 2 friends condemned. Embrace and kiss, and take 10,000 lows. Loather 100 times to part, then die. Yet now farewell, and farewell life with thee. Suff, thus is poor Suffolk 10 times banished. Once by the king, and 3 times thrice by thee. 'Tis not the land I care for, wert thou thence. A wilderness is populous enough. So Suffolk had thy holy company. For where thou art, there is the world itself. With Uri sur all pleasure in the world. And where thou art not, desolation. I can no more, lieu thou to I thy life. Myself know I in naught, but that thou liest. Enter Vox. Queen, whether goes Vox so fast, what news I? Proceed. Vox, to signify vento his majesty. That Cardinal Beaufort is at point of death. For suddenly, a grievous sickness took him. That makes him gasp and stare and catch the air. Blaspheming God, and cursing men on earth. Sometime he talks, as if Duke Humphrey's ghost were by his side, sometime he calls the king, and whispers to his pillow, as to him, the secrets of his hour-charged soul. And I am sent to tell his majesty that you now he cries aloud for him. Go tell this holy message to the king. Exit. I me, what is this world, what news are these? But wherefore grew I at an hour's poor loss, omitting Suffolk's exile, my soul's treasure? Why only Suffolk mourn I not for thee? And with the southern clouds, contend in tears. Theirs for the earth's increase, mine for my sorrows. Now get thee hence, the king thou know'st he is coming. If thou be found by me, thou art but dead. Suff, if I depart from thee, I cannot leave you. And in thy sight to die, what were it else? But like a pleasant slumber in thy lap. Here could I breath my soul into the air, as milda and gentle as the cradle babe, dying with mother's dug between its lips. Where from thy sight, I should be raging mad, and cry out for thee to close mine eyes, to haw thee with thy lips to stop my mouth. So shouldst thou either turn my flying soul, or I should breathe it so into thy body, and then it leod in sweet Elysium. To die by thee were but to die in east. From thee to die were torture more than death. Oh, let me stay, befall what may befall. Queen, away, though parting be a fretful corrosive. It is applied to a deathful wound. To France, sweet Suffolk, let me hear from thee. For wheresoe'er thou art in this world's globe, I'll hoe an iris that shall find thee out. Suff, I go, and take my heart with thee. Suff, a ul locked into the wafflest cask, that ewer did contain a thing of worth. Ewan as a splitted bark, so sunder we. This way fall I to death. Ca this way for me. Exeunt. Enter the king, Salisbury and Warwick, to the cardinal in bed. King, how fares my lord? Speak, Beaufort. Sour rainy. Ca, if thou be'st death, I'll give you the England's treasure, enough to purchase such another island. So thou wilt let me leave you, and feel no pain. King, ah, what a scene it is of Ewell life, where death's approach is seen so terrible. War, Beaufort, it is thy sour rainy speaks to thee. Beau, bring me Vientio my trial when you will. Died he not in his bed, where should he die? Can I make men leave you where they will or no? Oh, torture me no more, I will confess. Aliu again, then show me where he is. I'll give you £1,000 to look upon him. He hath no eyes, the dust hath blinded them. Comb down his hair, look, it stands bright, like lime twigs set to catch my winged soul. Give you me some drink, and bid the apothecary bring the strong poison that I bought of him. King, O thou eternal mower of the Hohens, look with a gentle eye upon this wretch. O beat away the busy meddling fiend that lays strong siege Vientio this wretch's soul, and from his bosom purge this blacky despair. War, see how the pangs of death do make him grin. Sal, disturb him not, let him pass peaceably. King, peace to his soul, if God's good pleasure be. Lord Cardinal, if thou think'st on Hohen's bliss, hold thy hand, make signal of thy hope. He dies and makes no scene, O God forgive you him. War, so bad a death, argues a monstrous life. King, forbear to eage, for we are sinners all. Close his eyes, and draw the curtain close. And let these all to meditation. Exeunt. Alarum, fight at sea, ordnance goes off. Enter Lieutenant, Suffolk and others. Lou, the gaudy blabbing and remorseful day, is crept into the bosom of the sea. And now loud hooling wallows arouse the Iades, that drag the tragic melancholy night, who with their drowsy, slow and flagging wings, cleap dead men's graws, and from their misty eyes, breath foul contagious darkness in the air. Therefore bring forth the soldiers of our prize. For whilst our pinnace anchors in the downs, here shall they make their ransom on the sand, or with their blood stain this discolored shore. Maester, this prisoner freely gui thee. And thou that art his mate, make boot of this. The other Walter Whitmore is thy share. One gent, what is my ransom, master, let me know. Ma, 1,000 crowns, or else lay down your head. Mate, and so much shall you giu, or off goes yours. Lou, what think you much to pay 2,000 crowns? And bear the name and port of gentlemen. Cut both the villains' throats, for die you shall. The lius of those which we ha lost in fight be counterpoised with such a petty sum. One gent, I'll giu it, sir, and therefore spare my life. Two gent, and so will I, and write home for it straight. Whittam, I lost mine eye in laying the prize aboard. And therefore to ruinge it, shalt thou die. And so should these, if I might ha my will. Lou, be not so rash, take ransom, let him liu. Suff, look on my George, I am a gentleman. Rate me at what thou wilt, thou shalt be paid. Wit, and so am I, my name is Walter Whitmore. How now, why starts thou, what doth death affright? Suff, thy name affrights me, in whose sound is death. A cunning man did calculate my birth, and told me that by water I should die. Yet let not this make thee be bloody-minded. Thy name is Gualtier, being rightly sounded. Wit, Gualtier or Walter, which it is I care not. Newer yet did base dishonor blur our name. But with our sword we whipped away the blot. Therefore, when merchant-like I sell ruinge, broke be my sword, my arms torn in defact, and I proclaimed a coward through the world. Suff, stay Whitmore, for thy prisoner is a prince. The Duke of Suffolk, William de la Pole. Wit, the Duke of Suffolk, muffled VP in ragas. Suff, I but these ragas are no part of the Duke. Lou, but I was newer slain as thou shalt be. Obscure and lowsy swain, King Henry's blood. Suff, the honorable blood of Lancaster must not be shed by such a iated groom. Hast thou not kissed thy hand, and held my stirrup, bareheaded plodded by my footcloth mule, and thought thee happy when I shook my head? How often hast thou waited at my cup, fed from my trencher, kneeled down at the board, when I ha feasted with Queen Margaret? Remember it, and let it make thee crestfalny. I and allay this thy abortive pride. How in our voiding lobby hast thou stood, and duly waited for my coming forth? This hand of mine hath writ in thy behalf, and therefore shall it charm thy riotous tongue. Wit, speak, captain, shall I stab the forlorn swain? Lou, first let my words stab him, as he hath me. Suff, base slaw, thy words are blunt, and so art thou. Lou, canoe him hence, and on our long boat's side strike off his head. Suff, thou darst not for thy own. Lou, pool, sir pool, lord. I cannot puddle sink whose filth and dirt troubles the silver spring where England drinks. Now will I damn VP this thy yawning mouth, for swallowing the treasure of the realmy. Thy lips that kissed the queen shall sweep the ground, and thou that smilledst at good Duke Humphrey's death against the senseless winds shall grin in vain, who in contempt shall hiss at the again. And wedded be thou to the hags of hell, for daring to affy a mighty lord. Vnto, the daughter of a worthless king, hoing neither subject wealth nor diadem. By dealish policy art thou grown great, and like ambitious Scylla hour-gorged, with gobbets of thy mother-bleeding heart, by the Anjou and Maine were sold to France. The false revolting Normans thorough thee disdain to call versus lord, and Picardy hath slain their governors, surprised our forts, and sent the ragged soldiers wounded home. The princely Warwick and the Newells all, whose dreadful swords were newer drawn in vain, as hating thee, and rising VP in arms. And now the house of York thrust from the crown, by shameful murder of a guiltless king, and lofty proud encroaching tyranny, burns with runging fire, whose hopeful colours adduance our half-fact sun, strewing to shine. Veender, the which is writ, inuitus nubibus. The commons here in Kent are VP in arms. And to conclude, reproach and beggary is crept into the palace of our king. And all by thee, away canoe him hence. Suff, oh that I were a god, to shoot forth thunder. Vipon these paltry, servile abac drudges. Small things make base men proud, this villain here, being captain of a pinnace, threatens more. Then Bargulus the strong Illyrian pirate. Drones suck not eagle's blood, but rob Beheus. It is impossible that I should die by such a lowly vassal as thyself. Thy words move rage, and not remorse in me. I go of message from the Queen to France. I charge thee waft me safely cross the channel. Lose water. Comes Suffolk, I must waft thee to thy deaths. Suff pine gelidus timor occupat artis, it is thee I fear. Well, thou shalt ha cause to fear before I loathe thee. What are ye daunted now will ye stoop? One gent, my gracious lord entreat him, speak him fair. Suffolk's imperial tongue is stern and rough. Vs to command, vn taught to plead for four. Far be it, we should honor such as these. With humble sweet, no rather let my head stoop to the block, than these knees bow to any. Saw to the god of Hoenn, and to my king. And sooner dance, vipon a bloody pole. Then stand vn coward to the vulgar groom. True nobility is exempt from fear. More can I bear than you dare execute. Lou hails him away, and let him talk no more. Come soldiers, show what cruelty ye can. Suff, that this my death may newer be forgot. Great men oft die by Vildebizonians. A Roman sworder, and Bandetto slaw. Murdered sweet Tully, Brutus bastard hand. Stabbed Iulius Caesar, Soige islanders. Pompey the Great, and Suffolk dies by pirates. Exit water with Suffolk. Lou, and as for these whose ransom we ha set, it is our pleasure one of them depart. Therefore come you with V's, and let him go. Exit lieutenant, and the rest. Manet the first gent, enter Walter with the body. Well, there let his head, and Leuless body lie. Vn till the queen his mistress bury it. Exit Walter. One gent, O barbarous and bloudy spectacle. His body will I bear vnto the king. If he ruinge it not, yet will his friends. So will the queen, that Lewing held him dear. Enter Bues, and Ion Holland. Bues, come and get thee a sword, though made of a lath they ha beny vp these 2 days. Hull, they ha the more need to sleep now then. Bues, I tell thee, Iaki Cade the clothier, means to dress the commonwealth and turn it, and set a new nap vpon it. Hall, so he had need for teas threadbare. Well, I say, it was newer merry world in England, since gentlemen came vp. Bues, O miserable age, virtue is not regarded in handicraftsmen. Hall, the nobility thinks scorn to go in leather aprons. Bues, nay more the king's counsel are no good. Work amends. Hall, true, and yet it is said, labor in thy vocation, which is as much to say, as let the magistrates be laboring men, and therefore should we be magistrates. Bues, thou hast hit it, for there's no better scene of a braw mind than a hard hand. Hall, I see them, there's best son the Tanner of Wingham. Bues, he shall ha the skins of our enemies, too. Make dog as leather of. Hall and Dick the butcher. Bues, then is sin struck down like an ox, and iniquity's throat cut like a calf. Hall and Smith the woer. Bew, Argo, their thread of life is spun. Hall, come, let's fall in with them. Drum, enter Cade, Dick butcher, Smith the woer, and a sawyer with infinite numbers. Cade, we Ion Cade, so termed of our supposed father. But, or rather of stealing a cade of herrings. Cade, for our enemies shall fail before V's, inspired with the spirit of putting down kings and princes. Command silence. But silence. Cade, my father was a Mortimer. But he was an honest man, and a good bricklayer. Cade, my mother a Plantagenet. Butch, I knew her well, she was a midwife. Cade, my wife descended of the Lacys. But she was indeed a peddler's daughter, and sold many laces. Woer, but now of late, not able to troil with her. Furred packy, she washes bucks here at home. Cade, therefore am I of an honorable house. But I by my faith the field is honorable, and there was he born, viender a hedge, for his father had newer a house but the cage. Cade, valiant I am. Woer, a must needs, for beggary is valiant. Cade, I am able to endure much. But no question of that, for I ha seen him whipped 3 market days together. Cade, I fear neither sword nor fire. He need not fear the sword, for his coat is of proofs. But methinks he should stand in fear of fire, being burnt i'th hand for stealing of sheep. Cade, be bra then, for your captain is bra and vows reformation. There shall be in England 7 halfpenny loaves sold for a penny, the 3-hooped pot shall ha 10 hoops, and I will make it felony to drink small beer. All the realmy shall be in common, and in Cheapside shall my palfrey go to grass, and when I am king, as king I will be. All God saw your majesty. Cade, I thank you good people. There shall be no money, all shall eat and drink on my score, and I will apparel them all in one leery, that they may agree like brothers, and worship me their lord. But the first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers. Cade, nay that I mean to do. Is not this a lamentable thing, that of the skin of an innocent lamb should be made parchment, that parchment being scribbled o'er should viendo a man? Some say the bee stings, but I say, tease the bee's wax, for I did but seal once to a thing, and I was newer mine own man since. How now, who's there? Enter a clerk. Woer, the clerk of Chardem, he can write and read, and cast a compt. Cade, O monstrous. We took him setting of boys' copies. Cade, here's a villain. Has a book in his pocket with red letters in't. Cade, nay then he is a cunning. But nay he can make obligations and write court. Hand. Cade, I am sorry for't, the man is a proper man of mine honor, unless I find him guilty he shall not die. Come hither sirrah, I must examine thee, what is thy name? Clerk Emmanuel. But they vsc to writ it on the top of letters. Go hard with yous. Cade, let me alone, dost thou vsc to write thy name? Or hast thou a mark to thyself, like a honest plain dealing man? Clerk, sir, I thank God, I ha been so well brought. VP, that I can write my name. All he hath confessed, away with him, he's a villain. And a traitor. Cade, away with him I say, hang him with his pen. And in keyhorn about his neck. Exit 1 with the clerk. Enter Michael. Mitch, where's our general? Cade, here I am thou particular fellow. Mitch, fly, Sir Humphrey Stafford and his brother are hard by, with the king's forces. Cade, stand villain stand or I'll fell thee down, he shall be encunted with a man as good as himself, he is but a knight, is a Mitch, no. Cade, to equal him I will make myself a knight presently. Rise VP Sir Ione Mortimer, now haw at him. Enter Sir Humphrey Stafford, and his brother with drum and soldiers. Staff, rebellious hinds, the filth and scum of Kent. Marked for the gallows, lay your weapons down. Home to your cottages, forsake this groom. The king is merciful if you rule't. Bro but angry, wrathful, and inclined to blood. If you go forward, therefore yield or't. Cade, as for these silken-coated slaws I pass not. It is to you good people that I speak. Our whom in time to come I hope to reigny. For I am rightful heir vientio the crown. Staff, villain, thy father was a plaisterer. And thou thyself a shearman, art thou not? Cade, and Adam was a gardener. Bro, and what of that? Cade, marry, this Edmund Mortimer Earl of March. Married the Duke of Clarence's daughter, did he not? Staff, I sir. Cade, by her he had 2 children at one birth. Bro, that's false. Cade, there's the question, but I say 'tis true. The elder of them being put to nurse was by a beggar woman Stalny away. and ignorant of his birth and parentage. Became a bricklayer when he came to age. His son am I, deny it if you can. But nay, 'tis too true, therefore he shall be king. We, sir, he made a chimney in my father's house, and the bricks are aliu at this day to testify it, therefore deny it not. Staff, and will you credit this base drudge's words, that speaks he knows not what. All I marry will we, therefore get ye gone. Bro, Iaki Cade, the D of York hath taught you this. Cade, he lies, for I invented it myself. Go to Sirrah, tell the king from me, that for his father's sake Henry V, in whose time boys went to span counter for French crowns, I am content he shall reigny, but I'll be protector our him. Butcher, and furthermore we'll ha the Lord say's head, for selling the dukedom of Maine. Cade and good reason, for thereby is England and fain to go with a staff, but that my puissance holds it VP. Fellow kings, I tell you, that Lord say hath gelded the commonwealth and made it an eunuch, and more than that, he can speak French, and therefore he is a traitor. Staff, O gross and miserable ignorance. Cade, nay answer if you can, the Frenchmen are our enemies, go to then I ask but this, can he that speaks with the tongue of an enemy be a good counsellor or no? All, no and therefore we'll ha his head. Bro, well seeing gentle words will not pre you ill. Assail them with the army of the king. Staff herald away, and throughout Uri town. Proclaim them traitors, that are VP with Cade. That those which fly before the battle ends. May Ewan in their weus and children's sight. Be hanged VP for example at their doors. And you that be the king's friends follow me. Enter. Cade, and you that low the commons follow me. Now show yourselves men, tease for liberty. We will not low one lord, one gentleman. Spare none but such as go in clouded shoon. For they are thrifty honest men, and such as would but that they dare not take our parts. But they are all in order, and march toward versus. Cade, but then are we in order when we are most out of order. Come, march forward. Alarums to the fight, wherein both the Staffords are slain. Enter Cade and the rest. Cade, where's Dick the butcher of Ashford? But here, sir. Cade, they fell before thee like sheep and oxen, and thou behoidst thyself, as if thou hadst been in thine own slaughterhouse. Therefore thus will I reward thee, the Lent shall be as long agone as it is, and thou shalt ha a license to kill for 100 lacking one. But I desire no more. Cade, and to speak truth, thou deservest no less. This monument of the victory will I bear, and the bodies shall be dragged at my horse heels, till I do come to London, where we will ha the mayor's sword borne before V's. But if we mean to three you, and do good, break open the jails, and let out the prisoners. Cade, fear not that I warrant thee, come let's march towards London. Exeunt. Enter the king with a supplication, and the queen with Suffolk's head, the Duke of Buckingham, and the Lord say. Queen, oft ha I heard that grief softens the mind, and makes it fearful and degenerate. Think therefore on revenge, and cease to weep. But who can cease to weep, and look on this? Here may his head lie on my throbbing breast. But where's the body that I should embrace? Buck, what answer makes your grace to the rebels? Supplication. King, I'll send some holy bishop to entreat. For God forbid, so many simple souls should perish by the sword, and I myself, rather than bloody war shall cut them short. Will parley with Iaki Cade their general. But stay, I'll read it our once again. Ah, barbarous villains, hath this lowly face rolled like a wandering planet o'er me? And could it not enforce them to relent? That were VN worthy to behold the same. King, Lord say, Iaki Cade hath sworn to ha thy head. Say I, but I hope your highness shall ha his. King, how now, madam? Still lamenting and mourning for Suffolk's death. I fear me, Lau, if that I had been dead, thou wouldst he not ha mourned so much for me. No, my Lau, I should not mourn but die for they. Enter a messenger. King, how now, what news, why comest thou in such haste? Mees, the rebels are in Southwark, fly my lord. Ieki Cade proclaims himself Lord Mortimer, descended from the Duke of Clarence house, and calls your grace usurper, openly, and vows to crown himself in Westminster. His army is a ragged multitude of hinds and peasants, rude and merciless. Sir Humphrey Stafford, and his brother's death, hath given them heart and courage to proceed. All scholars, lawyers, courtiers, gentlemen, they call false caterpillars, and intend their death. Kin, O graceless men, they know not what they do. Buck, my gracious lord, retire to Killingworth. Until a power be raised to put them down. Ah, were the Duke of Suffolk now aliu, these Kentish rebels would be soon appeased. King, Lord, say the traitors hateth thee. Therefore away with verses to Killingworth. Say, so might your grace's person be in danger. The sight of me is odious in their eyes, and therefore in the city will I stay, and leave you alone as secret as I may. Enter another messenger. Mess, Ieki Cade hath gotten London Bridge. The citizens fly and forsake their houses. The rascal people, thirsting after prey, eyen with the traitor, and they eintly swear to spoil the city and your royal court. Buck, then linger not, my lord, away, take horse. King, come, Margaret, God our hope will succor these. My hope is gone, now Suffolk is deceased. King, farewell, my lord, trust not the Kentish rebels. Buck, trust no body for fear you betrayed. Say the trust I ha is in mine innocence, and therefore am I bold and resolute. Exeunt. Enter Lord Scales vpon the tower walking, then enters 2 or 3 citizens below. Scales, how now, is Ieki Cade slain? One sit, no my lord, nor likely to be slain. For they ha won the bridge, killing all those that withstand them. The ill mayor craws eyed of your honor from the tower, to defend the city from the rebels. Scales, such eyed as I can spare you shall command. But I am troubled here with them myself. The rebels ha essayed to win the tower. But get you to Smithfield, and gather head, and thither I will send you Matthew Goff. Fight for your king, your country, and your leus. And so farewell, for I must hence again. Exeunt. Enter Ieki Cade and the rest, and strikes his staff on London stone. Cade, now is Mortimer lord of the city, and here sitting vpon London stone. I charge and command that of the city's cost, the pissing conduit run nothing but claret wine. This first year of our reigny, and now henceforward it shall be treason for any that calls me other than Lord Mortimer. Enter a soldier running. Soul, Ieki Cade, Ieki Cade. Cade, knock him down there. They kill him. But if this fellow be wise, he'll newer call ye Ieki Cade more, I think he hath a very fair warning. Dick, my lord, there's an army gathered together in Smithfield. Cade, come then let's go fight with them. But first, go and set London Bridge on fire. And if you can, burn down the tower too. Come, let's away. Exeunt, omnes. Alarums, Matthew Goff is slain and all the rest. Then enter Ieki Cade with his company. Cade, so sirs, now go some and pull down the saw. Others toth inns of court, down with them all. But I ha a sweet VNTO your lordship. Cade, be it a lordship, thou shalt ha it for that. Word. But onely that the laws of England may come out of your mouths. Ion, mass 'twill be sore law then, for he was thrust in the mouth with a spear, and 'tis not whole yet. Smith, nay Ion, it will be stinking law for his breath. Stinks with eating toasted cheese. Cade, I ha thought vpon it, it shall be so. Away, burn all the records of the realmy, my mouth shall be the Parliament of England. Ion, then we are like to ha biting statutes. Unless his teeth be pulled out. Cade, and henceforward all things shall be in common. Enter a messenger. Mies, my lord, a prize, here's the lord say, which sold the towns in France. He that made versus pay 1 and 20 15s, and 1 shilling to the pound the last subsidy. Enter George with the Lord say. Cade, well he shall be beheaded for it 10 times. Ah thou say thou surge, nay thou buckram lord, now art thou within point blank of our jurisdiction regal. What canst thou answer to my majesty? For Guing VP of Normandy VNTO Monsieur Basamcu, the Dauphin of France. Be it known VNTO thee by these presents, you in the presence of Lord Mortimer, that I am the besom that must sweep the court clean of such filth as thou art. Thou hast most traitorously corrupted the youth of the realmy, in erecting a grammar school. And whereas before our forefathers had no other books but the score and the tally, thou hast caused printing to be vest, and contrary to the king, his crown and dignity, thou hast built a paper mill. It will be prue to thy face, that thou hast men about thee, that visually talk of a known and a verb, and such abominable words, as no Christian ear can endure to hear. Thou hast appointed eastices of peace, to call poor men before them, about matters they were not able to answer. Moreover, thou hast put them in prison, and because they could not read, thou hast hanged them, when indeed, only for that cause they ha been most worthy to lee you. Thou dost ride in a footcloth, dost thou not? Say, what of that, Cade? Marry, thou oughtst not to let thy horse wear a cloak, when honester men than thou go in their hose and doublets. Dick, and work in their shirt too, as myself for example that am a butcher. Say you men of Kent. Chapter 599, What say you of Kent? Say nothing but this, tis bona terra mala gens. Cade, away with him, he speaks Latin. Say hear me but speak, and bear me were you. Wills. Kent, in the commentaries CSR writ, is termed the sealest place of all this isle. Sweet is the country, because full of riches. The people liberal, valiant, act to you wealthy. Which makes me hope, you are not void of pity. I sold not Maine, I lost not Normandy. Yet to recover them would loose my life. Eastis with 4 ha I always done. Prayers and tears ha moved me, gifts could newer. When ha I ought exacted at your hands. Kent to maintain, the king, the realmy and you. Large gifts ha I bestowed on learned clerks. Because my book preferred me to the king. And seeing ignorance is the curse of God. Knowledge the wing wherewith we fly to Hoenn. Unless you be possessed with dealish spirits. You cannot but forbear to murther me. This tongue hath parleyed VNTO for any kings. For your behoofs. Cade, tut, when struck'st thou 1 blow in the field. Say great men ha reaching hands, oft ha I struck. Those that I knew or saw, and struck them dead. Geo, O monstrous coward, what to come behind? Folks. Say, these cheeks are pale for watching for your good. Cade, Geo him a box oath ear, and that will make 'em. Red again. Say, long sitting to determine poor men's causes. Hath made me full of sickness and diseases. Cade, ye shall ha a hempen candle then, and the help of hatchet. Dick, why dost thou queer man? Say the palsy, and not fear provoques me. Cade, nay he nods at V's as who should say, I'll be ewen with you. I'll see if his head will stand steadier on a pole or no, take him away and behead him. Say tell me, wherein ha I offended most? Ha I affected wealth or honor, speak. Are my chests filled VP with extorted gold? Is my apparel sumptuous to behold? Whom ha I inured, that ye seek my death? These hands are free from guiltless bloodshedding. This breast from harboring foul deceitful thoughts. Oh let me leave. Cade, I feel remorse in myself with his words, but I'll bridle it, he shall die, and it be but for pleading so well for his life. Away with him, he has a familiar under his tongue, he speaks not a God's name. Go, take him away I say, and strike off his head presently, and then break into his son-in-law's house, Sir Iam's Cromer, and strike off his head, and bring them both VP pon 2 poles hither. All it shall be done. Say, countrymen, if when you make your prayers, God should be so obdurate as your sellus. How would it fare with your departed souls? And therefore yet relent, and saw my life. Cade, away with him, and do as I command ye. The proudest peer in the realmy shall not wear a head on his shoulders unless he pay me tribute. There shall not a maid be married, but she shall pay to me her maidenhead ere they ha it. Men shall hold of me in capite. and we charge and command that their weus be as free as heart can wish or tongue can tell. Dick, my lord, when shall we go to Cheapside and take VP commodities? Vpon our bills. Cade, marry presently. All obra. Enter one with the heads. Cade, but is not this brower? Let them kiss one another, for they lewd well. When they were aliu, now part them again. Least they consult about the geoing VP. Of some more towns in France, soldiers. Defera the spoil of the city vien till night. For with these born before V's, instead of maces, will we ride through the streets, and at Ewery corner, ha them kiss, away. Exit. Alarum and retreat, enter Agin Cade and all his rabblement. Cade, VP Fish Street, down St. Magna's corner, kill and knock down, throw them into Thames. Sound a parley. What noise is this I hear? Dare any be so bold to sound retreat or parley? When I command them kill. Enter Buckingham and old Clifford. Buck, I hear they be, that dare and will disturb thee. No Cade, we come ambassadors from the king. VNTO the commons, whom thou hast misled. And here pronounce free pardon to them all. That will forsake thee, and go home in peace. Cliff, what say ye countrymen, will ye relent? And yield to mercy, whilst 'tis offered you? Or let a rabble lead you to your deaths? Who lows the king, and will embrace his pardon? Fling VP his cap, and say, God saw his majesty. Who hateth him, and honors not his father? Henry the Fifth, that made all France to quake. Shake he his weapon at V's, and pass by. All God saw the king, God saw the king. Cade, what Buckingham and Clifford are ye so bra? And you base peasants, do ye believe him, will you needs be hanged with your pardons about your necks? Hath my sword therefore broke through London gates, that you should low me at the White Hart in Southwark? I thought you would newer ha gewen out these arms till you had recovered your ancient freedom. But you are all recreants and dastards, and delight to liu in slowery to the nobility. Let them break your backs with burthens, take your houses o'er your heads, rouish your weus and daughters before your faces. For me, I will make shift for one, and so God's curse light VP upon you all. All we'll follow Cade. We'll follow Cade. Cliff, is Cade the son of Henry the Fifth? That thus you do exclaim, go with him. Will he conduct you through the heart of France, and make the meanest of you earls and dukes? Alas, he hath no home, no place to fly to. Nor knows he how to liu, but by the spoil. Unless by robbing of your friends, and versus. Were't not a shame, that whilst you liu at Ira, the fearful French, whom you late vanquished, should make a start o'er seas, and vanquish you? Methinks already in this seawell broil, I see them lording it in London streets, crying Villego VNTO all they meet. Better 10,000 base-born cads miscarry. Then you should stoop VNTO, a Frenchman's mercy. To France, and get what you ha lost. Spare England, for it is your natty you coast. Henry hath money, you are strong and manly. God on our side, doubt not of victory. All, a Clifford. We'll follow the king, and Clifford. Cade, was your feather so lightly blown to and fro as this multitude? The name of Henry the Fifth hails them to 100 mischiefs and makes them low me desolate. I see them lay their heads together to surprise me. My sword make way for me, for here is no staying. In despite of the deals and hell, ha through the verie midst of you, and hoens and honor be witness, that no want of resolution in me, but only my followers' base and ignominious treasons, makes me betake me to my heels. Exit. Buck, what is he fled? Go some and follow him. And he that brings his head VNTO the king shall ha 1,000 crowns for his reward. Exeunt, some of them. Follow me, soldiers, we'll do as a mean to reconcile you all VNTO the king. Exeunt, omnes. Sound trumpets, enter king, queen, and Somerset on the terrace. King, was your king that eyed an earthly throne, and could command no more content than I. No sooner was I crept out of my cradle, but I was made a king, at 9 months oldy. Was newer subject long to be a king? As I do long, and wish to be a subject. Enter Buckingham and Clifford. Buck, health and glad tidings to your majesty. Kin, why Buckingham is the traitor Cade suppressed? Or is he but retired to make him strong? Enter multitudes with halters about their necks. Cliff, he is fled my lord, and all his powers do yield. And humbly thus with halters on their necks. Expect your highness doom of life, or death. King, then Hohen set ope thy everlasting gates. To entertain my vows of thanks and praise. Soldiers, this day ha you redeemed your lius. And showed how well you low your prince and country. Continue still in this so good a mind. And Henry, though he be unfortunate, assure yourselves will newer be vieng kind. And so with thanks and pardon to you all, I do dismiss you to your several countries. All God saw the king, God saw the king. Enter a messenger. Mees, please it your grace to be advertised. The Duke of York is newly come from Ireland, and with a puissant and a mighty power of gallow glasses and stout kerns, is marching hitherward in proud array, and still proclaimeth, as he comes along, his arms are onely to remove from thee the Duke of Somerset, whom he terms a traitor. King, thus stands my state, twixt Cade and York, distressed, like to a ship that hoeing scapt a tempest, is straightway calmy, and boarded with a pirate. But now is Cade drew and backy, his men despirked, and now is York in arms to second him. I pray thee Buckingham go and meet him, and ask him what's the reason of these arms. Tell him, I'll send Duke Edmund to the Tower, and Somerset we will commit thee thither, vien till his army be dismissed from him. Somerset, my lord, I'll yield him myself to prison willingly, or viento death, to do my country good. King, in any case be not to roughen terms, for he is fierce, and cannot brook hard language. Buck, I will my lord, and doubt not so to deal, as all things shall redound viento your good. King, come wife, let's in, and learn to govern better. For yet may England curse my wretched reigny. Flourish, exeunt. Enter Cade. Cade, fie on ambitions, fie on myself that ha a sword, and yet am ready to famish. These few days ha I hid me in these woods, and durst not peep out, for all the country is laid for me. But now am I so hungry, that if I might ha a lease of my life for 1,000 years, I could stay no longer. Wherefore on a brick wall ha I climbed into this garden, to see if I can eat grass, or pick a salad another while, which is not amiss to cool a man's stomachy this hot weather. And I think this word salad was born to do me good. For many a time but for salad, my brain pan had been cleft with a brown bill, and many a time when I ha been dry and brawly marching, it hath sarrowed me instead of a quart pot to drink in. And now the word salad must sarrow me to feed on. Enter Iden. Iden, lord, who would lee you tumult in the court. And may enjoy such quiet walks as these. This small inheritance my father left me contenteth me, and worth a monarchy. I seek not to wax great by others' warning, or gather wealth I care not with what an eye. Sufficeth that I ha maintains my state, and sends the poor well pleased from my gate. Cade, here's the lord of the soil come to seize me for a stray, for entering his fee simple without low. A villain, thou wilt betray me, and get a 1,000 crowns of the king by carrying my head to him, but I'll make thee eat iron like an ostrich, and swallow my sword like a great pin ere thou and I part. Idens, why rude companion, whatsoe'er thou be, I know thee not, why then should I betray thee? Is't not enough to break into my garden, and like a thief to come to rob my grounds, climbing my walls in spite of me the owner, but thou wilt braw me with these saucy terms. Cade, braw thee, I by the best blood that ewer was broached, and beard thee too. Look on me well, I ha eat no meat these few days, yet come thou and thy few men, and if I do not low you all as dead as a door nail, I pray God I may newer eat grass more. Iden, nay it shall ne'er be said, while England stands, that Alexander, Iden an esquire of Kent, took odds to combat a poor famished man. Oppose thy steadfast gazing eyes to mine. See if thou canst outface me with thy looks. Set limb to limb, and thou art far the lesser. Thy hand is but a finger to my fist. Thy leg a stick compared with this truncheon. My foot shall fight with all the strength thou hast. And if mine arm be hoed in the air, thy graw is digged already in the earth. As for words, whose greatness answers words, let this my sword report what speech forbears. Cade, by my valor, the most complete champion that ewer I heard. Steel, if thou turn the edge, or cut not out the burly bond clown in chines of beef, ere thou sleep in thy sheath, I beseech Io on my knees thou mayst be turned to hobnails. Here they fight. Oh, I am slain, famine and no other hath slain me, let 10,000 deals come against me, and Giu me but the 10 meals I ha lost, and I defy them all. Wither garden, and be henceforth a burying place to all that do dwell in this house, because the conquered soul of Cade is fled. Iden, ist Cade that I ha slain that monstrous traitor. Sword, I will hallow thee for this thy deed. And hang thee ere my Tom, when I am dead. Ne'er shall this blood be wiped from thy point. But thou shalt wear it as a herald's coat, to emblaze the honor that thy master got. Cade, Iden, farewell and be proud of thy victory. Tell Kent from me, she hath lost her best man, and exhort all the world to be cowards. For I that newer feared any, am vanquished by famine, not by valor. Dies. Chapter 499. How much thou wrong'st me, hoen be my eage. Die damned wretch, the curse of her that bare thee. And as I thrust thy body in with my sword, so wish I might thrust thy soul to hell. Hence will I drag thee headlong by the heels. Viento a dunghill, which shall be thy gra. And there cut off thy most gracious head.